So we have a brand new crime scene space that basically allows us to dedicate an area where the students can get some great hands-on opportunities. We can do a whole bunch of different mock crime scenes. We have the ability to put, blood spatter on the walls. It allows us to have 2 spaces, so we can either have a large area for the crime scene, as in like a studio apartment, or we can split it up into multiple crime scenes. Eventually, it will also have video cameras that we can allow the students to be in the room processing, and then we can be outside the room monitoring what they're doing, and then be taking notes as to how they can actually improve how they're doing this. So it's a really great opportunity for the students to be immersed in a real crime scene and actually be able to, put into practice what they're learning in the classroom. Another great thing about HU is that most of our faculty have practitioner experience. So Professor Wise and I have both been working in the field for several years, so a lot of our cases are coming from our history. So we're not necessarily repeating any crimes we've seen, but piecing together elements of different crimes to make it as realistic as possible. So based on the crime scene we have set up, we've selected 3 items of evidence that are going to be valuable for them to actually process. So the first station that we have set up is forensic anthropology. So this basically allows them to get a good look at the pelvis and the skull to try to, what we have showing them is basically trying to figure out if it's a male or female. So what we have on the wall is a little bit of information about anthropology itself, and then how we determine based on the pelvis and the skull whether it's male or female. Wow, and that's one of the first steps in anthropology, and actually trying to identify where this came from. So what missing person this belongs to. The second station we have is fingerprinting. So again, the first page just explains a little bit about fingerprinting, and then the second page gives you some good indication on how you can identify a fingerprint. So there's overall patterns that we identify, and then what makes them actually unique are those lower ridge characteristics. So that's where those are, how many you have of those, that's what makes your fingerprints unique to an individual. So this station, we would get one of the cans from in the room, place it here, and then do some fingerprinting. And then the third station we have is actually trying to determine if this red substance is blood. So forensic serology is typically the first step before you do DNA analysis. So first we need to identify, is this a body fluid? And then if it is, we can move that on to DNA analysis if we want to. So this is a common serology test used for blood. It's actually a really cool little thing. This is actually used in doctor's offices to determine if there's blood in stool. This is where it came from. But you take these little sorbent pads, and if you take a toothpick, touch it to the stain, and touch it on here, if it turns green, it's positive for possible human blood. So that's a really easy test as well to determine if we should move that on for additional testing. So those are the 3 stations we have set up so far. The forensic field right now is still expanding. I just read the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics said it is on the rise. So when the students leave here, they have the opportunity to either be like crime scene investigators, crime scene technicians. They can go into the labs. They can be crime lab technicians as well, or analysts. So we have 2 degree programs that really try to diversify their abilities to get a great career.